Well, hey, book world, welcome back to another episode of Young Adult Edition. We are so incredibly excited because today we are talking all about gender bent retellings, which is where we swap our female lead for a guy and our male leads for a girl. We're going to be talking all about that with the fabulous Constance Roberts today. But before we jump in, we are going to talk about some book world news and new book releases. So we're incredibly excited to see you guys. I'm k.m. Robinson, author of Sugarcoated, and I'm joined by my co-host Elle Beaumont, author of Hunter's Truce. And we cannot wait to chat with you today. Let us know who you are and where you're from, and tell us what your weather's like today, because we know some of you have some serious snow going on right now. So let us know what is going on in your neighborhood today. Elle, how are you?
Good. A little bit under the weather, but I'm doing great otherwise. How are you?
I am good. I'm good. Lots of fun stuff going on in the book world this week. Tons and tons of releases. But before we get to those releases, let's talk about some book world news. And I know you saw something really cool this week. What was it?
I am super excited about this because I, like most people, am a huge Netflix person. You get to binge wonderful stuff on Netflix. But I saw that Netflix is in the works with a Leigh Bardugo series of the Grishaverse from Shadow and Bone. It's going to be, I think, a 6-part miniseries. And I'm hoping they decide to expand on that because, oh my gosh, I absolutely love the Grishaverse. For those of you who don't know, that's the Darkling, the Six of Crows, and King of Scars is coming out later this month. And I'm super excited about that because I love Nikolai from Shadow and Bone. But I am super, super pumped about this. It's actually the creator of the Bird Box, which was like a sensation that like had everybody up, and I saw that. I'm not really going to go into that, but same creators that did Bird Box are going to be working on the Grishaverse, and I'm very excited because of the dark tones in the book series. I think that those creators with Leigh will do an amazing job. So I'm super pumped about that. And you guys, if you're excited, let me know in the comments below.
We are super excited. If you guys have book world news, using words, book world news that we have not discussed today, please let us know. We would love to chat about that on our next episode. And if you are an author who happens to have a book coming out, please let us know because we are going to be talking all about new releases. Or if you're a fan who happens to be a big fan of a book coming out this week, let us know what that book is, and we'll make sure that we add it to our list of books coming out every single week here in Young Adult Edition. And speaking of, let's go ahead and take a look at the books coming out this week. So I'm going to make this full screen. I'm attempting to make this full screen. There we go. There we go. And so as you can see, we've got a ton of books coming out this week, including books from our friend K.m. Sullivan, who will be here next week. We're going to tell you all about her episode at the end of today's show. But she's got a book coming out tomorrow. And Elle, I know your absolute favorite person and one of our big friends here at Young Adult Edition has a book coming out this week. Tell us what it is.
A.G. Howard's Stain, which I have not completed reading it yet, but I did read the first few chapters, and oh my goodness, it is amazing. It's Gothic style. It's loosely based off of Princess and the Pea, and I love it. So I'm not going to keep going on and on about this, but guys, check it out.
You would.
I would. I totally would. I could have an entire episode dedicated to my gushings of A.G. Howard, but check it out. And also K.m. Sullivan's Broken Glass book, because the first book was amazing. I can only assume that the second book is going to be amazing as well.
And we cannot wait to see what other books are coming out this week or next week. Let us know what you want to see here on Young Adult Edition. And make sure you get your hands on a copy of Stain by A.G. Howard, our dear friend. And if you haven't watched her episode on creating unique retellings, make sure you jump back and watch that episode. And K.m. Sullivan's Broken Glass, which is an Alice in Wonderland retelling. Make sure you grab that as well. And stay tuned because she'll be joining us next week for an episode we're going to tell you about at the end of today's show. Now today we're talking all about gender bent retellings. We have the fabulous Constance Roberts here. She is the author of Lost, which is a Peter Pan gender bent retelling. We're going to talk all about what makes a good gender bent retelling, and we're going to hear all about her book Lost as well. So if you are joining us live, we want to hear from you. Jump down to those comments and leave your questions. We'll get as many answers while we're live on air, and we will make sure that we are checking out those comments as well and getting them answered over the next couple of days if you're on the replay. Constance, how are you today?
I'm good. I'm doing fabulous. How are you guys?
Excited to see you. Doing so good today. Lots of fun here. Young Adult Edition. We love having you back. You actually jumped in and have done episodes and interviews here on the K.m. Robinson platform. So we're really excited to have you guys back. And if you are joining us live, we want to hear from you. Go ahead and let us know, what is your favorite gender bent retelling? Which ones should we be talking about today? And let us know if you've got questions for Constance all about her Peter Pan retelling. So before we do anything else, let's talk about what a gender bent retelling is. Constance, can you tell us a little bit about those?
Yeah, that's easy. A gender bent retelling is any kind of fairy tale or story retelling where the main character's genders are switched, or at least one of the main character's genders are switched. So for example, in my Peter Pan retelling, Peter Pan is actually a girl, and then I put Wendy in the role of the boy. So that was really fun and exciting.
And we are big fans of this here. I feel like I know when people announce gender bent retellings, the book world kind of goes crazy over it. This is one of those things that they really, really love. And I'm going to pose this just to everybody here, but also to people who are watching us live or on the replay. Why do you think people love these gender swaps so much? And Elle, I'm actually going to ask you first, because I like to put you on the spot.
I think because how would a guy handle that in that situation? For example, like if all of a sudden Snow White was a guy, how would Snow White deal with, eating the apple, the true love's kiss, and the evil stepmother? Like all of these. Excuse me. All of these different things. How would a guy do that? We know, as readers, as authors, we know how the girl deals with it, and vice versa. How does the girl deal with it in that situation when she's Princess Charming? I think it's just interesting to see it in a different view, and that's what readers and authors want to explore. Just seeing different views of the story that we know, and how different it would be if we kind of like spun it on its head.
Constance, what do you think makes people love these gender swaps?
Well, I think retellings in general are just so exciting because we get to read the stories that we grew up with and the stories that we love, but now kind of look at them as adults. And so I think retellings are so popular right now because of that. But then even adding the twist of a gender swap, it's an even more exciting. It's even an even newer way to like look at our favorite stories and explore the different character aspects of that. So that's what I would have to say. That at least that's what I was drawn to when I was approached with this idea. So.
And that's a great point, because I was actually going to ask you, what was it that drew you specifically to swapping the characters in Peter Pan? How did that speak to you, and how did you come up with this storyline?
Well, I was actually approached. Lost is actually part of it's part of a series called Twisted Fairy Tales, where each author writes a different fairy tale with a gender swap theme. But I was actually approached to do that by fellow author Megan Linsky, who is kind of head of that group. And my computer just about fell over. Sorry. Sorry, technical difficulties. I was approached by Megan Linsky. She had this idea, and I had never even heard of that before. It was a couple years ago when it really wasn't as popular, or even I hadn't even heard of it. But it was so exciting. I jumped right on it. I was like, okay, cool. When are we doing this? And I right away, Peter Pan just popped into my head. And I think because I've always had that sort of tendency to kind of go off into my own little Neverland, as writers, we always are off in our own little world. And it's such a neat, unique world that I just kind of wanted to modernize it a little bit and explore it. And then also have one of my favorite characters as a different gender as my gender to kind of, almost sort of put myself in this situation. Although Pan is a character totally her own, and she took over the entire story and just ran off, and I was just chasing her the whole time. But you'll see.
Isn't that the way it always happens with characters? Like, I don't think there's an author out there that can say that at least one character has not run away on them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she started out totally different, and then as I was writing the story, I was like, "Wait, what are you doing? Like, that's not acceptable."
I love it. That is so exciting. Hey, if you are joining us live, we want to hear from you. Jump down into those comments and leave us your comment love. Send us your questions. We'll get as many answered as we can while we're on air, talking all about gender bent retellings today and a twisted take on Peter Pan, where Pan is actually a girl. And we will be monitoring the comments as well. If you're on our replay, we want to hear from you guys, but we also need you to do us a little bit of a favor. If you are having fun today, if you're enjoying this episode, if you think gender bent retellings are the best thing since sliced bread, do us a favor and hit the share button. That tells Facebook we're doing something awesome, we're doing something interesting, and it will kick the video out to more people. And if you're on YouTube, if you're on our blogs, if you're on any of the replays elsewhere, hit that share button as well. That tells the platform we're doing something really cool and shows our videos to more people, which means we can do more things on our shows and have more fabulous guests, just like Constance Roberts here on Young Adult Edition and our author interviews and all of the fun events we do here on the K.m. Robinson platform. So we want to hear from you guys. Go ahead and leave us a little bit of love down below and hit that share button so that we can see what is going on in your world and in the world of retellings. Elle, I know I do a lot of talking here, so do you have questions for Constance before I jump in with more?
I do. So Connie, what is the most challenging thing about writing a gender bent character?
The most challenging thing, I think, is to sort of balance out the expectations that people have about that particular character. There's always certain characteristics that are just sort of classic with, Snow White, Cinderella, Peter Pan. You want to keep those, but still bring it in a way that the opposite sex, might handle it, and then also, but still make it your own unique twist. So I think kind of just balancing out what's classic and then that new twist, but bringing it into something that meshes is kind of tricky. And I hope I did a good job with it. So
great. I'm out of questions now.
I'm sorry. I'm sitting here trying to check the questions to make sure that everything's coming through well, because I was having a little bit of a technical glitch inside of our control panel. So I just wanted to make sure I wasn't missing anything as we were going. Lots of people hanging out. Jessica Julian, thank you for being here. Jess, thank you for being here. And, oh, it moved on me. I don't know who else is here. Thank you guys for being here. We appreciate you hanging out with us. We do love seeing you guys here at Young Adult Edition. Leave us a little bit of comment love so we know that you are here, and let us know, have you read gender bent retellings before, and which ones should we be talking about today? So ladies, do you feel like we have enough gender bent retellings out there, or is this something that we don't see enough of? There's only a couple out there. Do we feel like this should kind of maybe be a little bit more in our industry, or how do we feel about this?
I think we're just on the brink of like what's going to come with the gender bent retellings. I feel like we kind of got on with it. The Twisted Fairy Tales kind of got on with it pretty early. We're seeing a lot in the indie publishing, but still like not as many as you'd think. And then not a lot like in the mainstream. I think I've just seen a couple books like coming out later this year that are gender bent fairy tales, which is really exciting. But I think it's kind of gender bent is going to be the new like exciting. It's like when retellings started coming out, but then it's like one level above that, And
I love it because, I'm a huge fan of retellings. Retellings are the best. And I have not written a gender bent story yet, but it is definitely something that's tucked away. Yeah. It's tucked away in the back of my mind. It might be something fun to play with.
Give it a week. You'll have one in a week.
Next week. I'll write it next week. I'm gonna finish the one I'm working on. Next week I'll have it for you guys. It'll all be ready. We're good. Hey, let us know down in those comments below if you are joining us. What story would you love to see with swapped genders? Let us know. Let us know what story we should be looking at, because I'm already starting to get a couple of ideas. I'm starting to get some fun things. But we want to hear from you. What would you love to see with that gender swap going on? Danielle's with us. She says, hello. Thanks so much for being here. We do appreciate you being here, hanging out with us today.
So I'm gonna butt in because I didn't even get to answer that question.
Fair. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was in the middle of trying not to die over here. But I do have something in the works that is kind of a gender bent. It is.
Know about this?
You do. It. I will say that it's part of one of our anthologies this year. I've talked about it before, and you were like,
Have I? I don't remember this. All right.
It has to do with Sleeping Beauty.
Of course I know this.
It has to do with Sleeping Beauty.
Nope, I'm still.
You're still.
Oh yeah. Vague in the back. I got you.
In the back, yeah. Okay.
Keep going.
I do have an idea for that, but that was all I was gonna say. I do have an idea that will be coming out later this year. That is a gender bent origin story. That's all I'll say.
Hey, so we are jumping on the gender bent train, guys. If you are loving it, let us know down below and hit that share button. That tells Facebook we're doing something awesome and that more people should be hanging out. So switching gears just a little bit, Constance, I know we talked a lot about how to do gender bent retellings, what they are, how it kind of fit into what you were doing. But I want to hear specifically about Lost. So can you tell us a little bit more about your twisted version of Peter Pan?
Of course. So Lost is actually it's the Peter Pan as a girl. Wendy is a boy. But what's kind of unique about it is that Lost is a video game that Wendell actually plays. And then Pan or Pandora sort of just kind of comes in one day, finds his flat and his apartment in London, and takes him away to the real Neverland. So that's really exciting. I kind of brought my love of gaming into the story. So of video games and RPGs and my nerdiness. Yeah.
And we are super excited because who has ever thought of doing a gender swap Peter Pan? I love the idea. The concept is amazing. We've actually got a question in the comments. Megan would like to know, what is your next gender bent retelling and when is it coming out?
That is an amazing question, Megan. I signed on to do another gender bent retelling in the Twisted Fairy Tales world, where it's a modern fairy tale retelling and the main character is gender swapped. I am doing Pinocchio as a girl, so that is going to be really, really fun. And I haven't seen a lot of Pinocchio retellings, so I think it'll be kind of a unique new thing to do. So I'm really excited about that. I think that comes out actually in September. So that's just in time for my big convention I'm going to. So I'm excited to be able to promote that at the convention we'll have Pandora and Penny. So side by side, it's going to be really fun.
That's so exciting. And you're actually going to be at PendCon this year. I'm going to be there with you. It's going to be lots of fun. Guys, let us know if you are going to be joining us at PendCon in September. And if not, get yourself onto their website, get your tickets. It's going to be lots of fun. We're going to have a great time. And you can hang out with both myself and Constance Roberts there at PendCon. I'm excited. This is my first time there. But we're going to have lots of fun hanging out. Danielle's in the comments. She says, I'd love to see a gender bent Little Mermaid. It probably already exists, though. Seems like it should. And I'm really excited to hear about this Peter Pan story. Well, Danielle, good news. I have actually seen a couple of Little Mermaid retellings, but the Shared World series that Constance is a part of actually has one, right, Connie?
Yes. Megan Linsky actually wrote Breathless, and it is, sorry, I keep saying Peter Pan, but it is the Little Mermaid as a boy. So that is really cool. And we actually get, in that book, you get the point of view of Eric, the girl also. So it's kind of switching POVs between the boy and the girl, and it's really exciting. I loved it. I got to read it super early, so that was really cool. So yeah, it's called Breathless by Megan Linsky, and if you can go to my website or Amazon, you can find it there. So
fantastic. And I think Megan has actually dropped her info in the comments below as well, so you can check that out too. Jessica Taylor is here, and she says, I cannot wait to read these. P.S. Hi, Constance, I love you. So lots of love in the comments today.
Jessica and I go way back. I love her.
Fantastic. We always love bringing friends. Guys, bring your friends. Don't let friends watch shows without bringing more friends. Danielle says, ooh, Pinocchio. Pinocchio is really exciting, right? We cannot wait to hear more about this. I will definitely have Constance on closer to her release date, maybe later in summer or early winter, and we'll chat all about that as well. But we are going to be wrapping this up in the next minute or so because we do have a lot going on today, guys. So if you've got any last minute questions or comments, now is the time. Go ahead and drop those in our comments below. Constance, what do we need to know about Lost before we go? What is the one thing you would tell people if they have not read it yet?
It is a completely new adventure and a completely new type of Neverland. All of the tribes are broken up and kind of sectioned off, and it's like the same map but like a different kind of groups of people, and it's like a story you've never read before. All the men are banished from the island, so when Wendell comes, it's this completely new surprise and exciting and it's Peter Pan like you've never read it before, and I really hope that people enjoy it. So
fantastic. Where can everybody find you?
You can find me at ConstanceRobertsAuthor.com. I'm also at I'm on Instagram. Like I'm not huge on Instagram. I mean, I love Instagram, so I'm huge for it. And she just, I think, popped up my info right there. It's at imagery.in.pages on Instagram, and I love sharing books that I read or sharing books I'm excited about or sharing my own upcoming releases. I'm going to be releasing the cover for that Pinocchio book soon, so go ahead and find me because I'd love to hang out and chat some more.
And you can also hit her up right here, Onyx Moon Trilogy on Facebook as well. If you have not followed Constance on social media, make sure you do. She has stunning Bookstagram photos over on Instagram. We highly recommend you go hang out with her over there as well. Constance, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you being here and talking all about gender bent retellings today. If you guys have not seen Constance's episode about the Shared World series that she has, make sure you check out that episode of Young Adult Edition as well for more information on the entire series of gender bent retellings. We appreciate you being here, lady. Thanks so much. We cannot wait to have you back. We'll talk soon.
Always a pleasure.
Bye-bye. All right, guys, we have a huge episode coming up next week. We're super excited for this. We're actually going to be joined by the fabulous K.m. Sullivan. We're talking all about space books. And in fact, we're going to be talking specifically about her Peter Pan retelling. It's Peter Pan in Space. Need I say more? This week, we talked all about our gender swap Peter Pans. Next week, we're talking about Peter Pans in Space. It is a Peter Pan takeover here on Young Adult Edition, and we cannot wait for you to join us next Monday morning, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to have a great time as we hang out with K.m. Sullivan, facebook.com/k.m.robinson books. Elle, before we go, let everybody know where they can find you.
You can find me on Facebook and Instagram at Elle Beaumont Books. You can find me on Twitter at Elle Beaumont. You can always find me on my website, which is ellebeaumont.books.com. And you can also find me on YouTube and watch some random videos of me, unboxings and lives and all that fun stuff on YouTube at Elle Beaumont.
Make sure you look her up, too, because she has lots and lots of fun on social media. You can hang out with me at k.m.robinsonbooks.com, where we've got behind the scenes of all of our different stories. There's some fun, fabulous things coming up. We're right in the middle of a big makeover, so I've got some really cool things, including brand new interactive choose-your-own-adventure games that we're going to be releasing over the next couple of months. You can also get my tour schedule because, yay, we're going to hang out at a bunch of conventions. I'll see you guys at Mermagicon in February, where we are talking all about the Siren Wars and mermaids with professional mermaids, mermaid enthusiasts. There will be mermaid tales there, mermaid swag. There are classes. There's all sorts of fun, fabulous things. mer-magicon.com if you want to get your tickets and come join me at Mermagicon. And of course, you can hang out with me at k.m. Robinson Books on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, TV, YouTube, because that was really hard, guys. Sorry. Come hang out with me on YouTube. YouTube's great. We have lots of fun videos over there. And we would love for you guys to come connect with us on social media. Until then, we will see you next week, Monday, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for Young Adult Edition. And make sure you stay tuned because we've got some really cool author interviews over the next couple of days and weeks. And we've got some big things happening on Young Adult Edition in the not too distant future. Cannot wait to share what those things are. We've got some big name authors joining us, and we cannot wait for you guys to come back and hang out with us. Thank you so much for hanging out with us today. Leave us a little bit of love for Young Adult Edition. And if you've got an author you would like to see on the show, we want you to tag them in the comments and say, I would love to see at the author's name on Young Adult Edition, so that when you tag them, they know why you're tagging them. Some people just toss names to us, and then when they come to look at the video, they have no idea why they were tagged. So let them know that you want to see them as a guest on Young Adult Edition. We're going to be doing some amazing things, and we're reaching out to some really cool authors right now. So leave us the people you want to see on the show, and we will do our best to get them on for you. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm K.m. Robinson. This is Elle Beaumont. We will see you again for another episode of Young Adult Edition. Until then, stay inspired. Bye-bye.